Alright guys, welcome to RN Homesteading. Of course, I'm Nemesis. This is day 3. I'm going to basically, might break this up into 2, maybe 3 parts for all of this. At least 2. I think I'm going to do a day just to designate to this. And the first thing I'll tell you, had these strange plants that I pulled out that were some sort of weed. I pulled one of them completely up, and I was given some like weird style tubers. Hey, I got a rubber band that I pulled out of the ground. That's a silicone rubber band. It shows that that stuff doesn't go away. But yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here seeing that, I don't know what kind of a plant this is. At first I thought it was like a potato plant, but now that I let it grow a little bit, it was sitting next to this, and I know this is a potato plant for sure for where it's located. Where I used to have my last potato garden was right here, so it must have been a potato that got missed. So now I can sit there and do what I was really wanting to do. Just kind of turned into a chaos garden back here. So today's the day. Probably going to take me, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. So as I'm doing this, I'll probably end up time-lapsing some of this. I got to get the hoe out. We're going to recreate our pathways. I don't need any of this as mulch, so I'll be able to pull all of the weeds out, put them into a nice pile, and put them into the compost. So let's get a hoe. Let's go ahead and get cracking. I got to grab my hoe. I forgot to grab it. So just like that, man, if it was only that easy, you know, you just snap your fingers and then all of this would be done. Only works like that when you got cameras. Funny how that is, right? So let's go ahead and get to getting this chaos garden of mine back under control here, because there's a lot of foliage here. Of course, there's lots of bugs. So let's get rid of the homes for our bugs and make this thing look good. So let's get at it. I'll put you guys on a time lapse here, and we'll see how long this takes me. So okay, that was about 45 minutes to an hour's worth of work. And as you guys seen over the last couple of videos I really haven't done much to the garden. This is the first time I've really gone through and meticulously weeded everything. As you saw, my compost pile is huge. I have lots of compost. I'm gonna have to turn that pile over, get that thing going the right way. You guys have seen me turning compost piles. I'm sure you don't need another video of somebody working, doing manual labor. I mean, unless you need the inspiration, let me know in the comments down below. I'm much obliged. You want to hang out with me while I'm doing work? So be it. But coming back here, I mean, like, this is the fruits of the labor whenever you're sitting there just taking an hour per section here to really clean the walkways up. That's been Chaos Gardening 101 there. Everything seems to be going pretty good though overall. As I'm sitting here now, just walking to the back of the house, you know, it's like that back little section was a little longer because it was a little bit bigger than everything else that I have. So that one has like about an hour and a half back there over there. And then, of course, like you saw, my little corn patch here, that took like a half hour, 45 minutes-ish. And then all of this, look at that. You can see that I have onions here. We have some potatoes. Got a bunch of more onions, and all these onions were started from seed that I collected. That's the first. Got my jalapenos, got my cucumbers, and before I forget, we have cucumber. So I mean, yeah, this is what you can accomplish in an hour's worth of time. Don't sit there and think that you have to do all of this stuff in one shot. Certainly break it up. You know, if you've only got an hour here and there, if you haven't done anything with your garden like I haven't since the beginning of the season, you're going to have about an hour's worth of work in each section that you have. Unless you got a really small garden and it's like, you know, the smaller the garden, the less amount of time you're going to be weeding. Of course. But with something that I've got, you know, a 12 by 40-foot section back here, that's an hour's worth of weeding back here. That's 1 hour's worth of weeding. It's really not that bad. It's just a matter of being motivated on your day off and enough to be able to do that, and don't sleep in. That's some of the trick, you know. It's like I get more accomplished than most people do by 7 a.m. Why? Because I'm up by 5:30. Today was 4. So imagine what you can get done when you can get up early and do things that you need to get accomplished versus getting up for just work. Getting up for work pays the bills and everything, but you still have to do you. So just because you got a day off doesn't always mean that you get a day off. Sometimes it's just better to put the grind in, do the real work, as they say, right? So with that, guys, I hope this inspires you guys. This little 3-video series of mine of absolute weeding. It was weeding chaos, and I made organization out of a chaos garden, and even put weeds to use by hilling up potatoes and using the weeds as ground cover. It's that simple, guys. You don't have to go all out. So smash that lizard like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, and may your thumbs always be green. I'll see you guys on the next one. Yo!